गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपितजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम् धिमिकिट धिमिकिट वाद्यमृदङ्गं धिमिकिट धिमिकिट वाद्यमृदङ्गं ब्रह्मानन्द हरे ब्रह्मानन्द हरे गजानन ब्रह्मानन्द हरे गजानन ताण्डवनृत्य करे गजानन ताण्डवनृत्य करे. Our story begins once upon a time, exactly 151 years ago, on this very day, 12th January 1863. There was a lot of rejoicing in the household of the famous lawyer Vishwanath Datta because his wife Bhuvaneshwari Devi had just delivered a baby boy, and this child was named, do you all know his name? Narendranath, and he was lovingly called Naren. Naren was highly intelligent. He had an incredible memory and a fantastic sense of humor. And he was extremely truthful, honest, and helpful to others. In all spheres, he exceeded himself. Academics, sports, music, poetry, you name it. In fact, all in all, he was what we call in Tamil Kathakalakshepam. 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 Narendran Kathakalakshepam. Narendran Kathakalakshepam. There was a question that was haunting him. Is it possible to see God? So he asked so many scholars and spiritual gurus, but he was not satisfied with any of their answers. One day, when he was attending a literature class in his college, the principal of his college, Mr. Hasty, mentioned that if you all want to learn what is trance, then go to Dakshineshwar and meet Sri Ramakrishna. Now this was the first time that Naren had heard the name of Sri Ramakrishna. The first meeting was in Naren's friend's place when Sri Ramakrishna had come from Dakshineshwar for a prayer meeting. And here Naren was asked to sing. Some of you might know what he sang. Shall I sing what he sang? If you don't say yes.
Yes.
You know the bottle that you have in the bus.
Mono cholo nijo niketone. Mono cholo nijo niketone. Shon সংসার বিদেশে বিদেশীর বেশে ভ্রম কেন অকারণে সংসার বিদেশে বিদেশীর বেশে ভ্রম কেন অকারণে চলো নিজ নিকেতনে মন চলো নিজ নিকেতনে। The singing was so soulful that Sri Ramakrishna was extremely impressed, and he gave him an invitation to visit him in Dakshineshwar. When Naren went to Dakshineshwar, he was dying to ask this question that was haunting him. So he said, "Have you seen God?" And back came the reply from Sri Ramakrishna, "Yes, I see God more clearly than I see you." But there was a lot of conflict in the mind of Naren. Is it possible? Can it be? We have seen God. Is he worthy to be my guru? Should I accept him? What shall I do? At that time, Sri Ramakrishna patted Naren with his toe, and lo and behold, exuberant visions of the cosmos exploded in the mind of Naren, and that settled it. Naren accepted Sri Ramakrishna as his guru. There was mutual love and affection between the guru and the Sishya. One day, Naren's father passed away, leaving the family in dire poverty and debts. So Naren was forced to look for a job to care for his mother and his 9 siblings. When he told this to Sri Ramakrishna, the Guru advised him to seek the goddess Kali's help. So Naren went to goddess Kali's temple and tried to ask goddess Kali for monetary help. He tried, but he just could not get himself to ask the goddess for money. All he managed was pure knowledge. He said, "Oh goddess, grant me pure knowledge." Sri Ramakrishna initiated Naren into monkhood, then transferred all his spiritual powers to Naren, declared him as the leader of his disciples, and in the year 1886, Sri Ramakrishna attained Mahasamadhi on 16th August. Naren, along with some young monks, established the first Ramakrishna Mutt in Baranagar. This was started in a dilapidated building. One day, Naren had an inner calling, an urge to go around the whole of India on a journey of discovery. He wanted to know more about his countrymen. So he decided, whether anybody comes with me or not, I am going to go all alone, and he set out alone. Rabindranath Tagore's this song would fit this point. যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে, তবে একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, তবে একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে, চলো রে, একলা চলো রে। So Naren traveled all over India. Sometimes he stayed in the mansions of the rich and sometimes in the huts of the poor. And he was so appalled looking at the miserable living conditions of the poor. He was more troubled by the fact that the rich had no concern for the poor. And as he traveled along, he reached the southernmost tip of India. And as he stood at the seashore, he saw two huge rocks in the sea. He quickly swam to one rock and sat in deep meditation. Here, he had a vision. Two things became very clear to him. Number one, the rich and ancient heritage of India must be made known to the whole world. And number two, that the masses should be uplifted. They should be awakened and inspired to realize that the lost faith in themselves must be regained. To achieve this, he decided to attend the Religion of Parliaments in Chicago. That was scheduled in September 1893. The funds were collected by his disciples in Chennai and the Raja of Khetri, and Naren, now known as Swami Vivekananda, set out to America on 31st March 1893 from Mumbai. He visited Singapore, Hong Kong, China, Japan, and after 2 months of travel, he reached Vancouver, Canada. From there, he took a train and reached Chicago. But you know what? Now he found out to be a delegate at the Parliament of Religions, he needed credentials from a bona fide organization, and the registration had to be done 2 months ago. He was already 2 months late. What to do now? He went to Boston. He was invited by the Harvard University to give a talk. And Professor Henry Wright, when he heard his talk at the Harvard University, he was so impressed and he said, "What? At the Parliament of Religions they are asking for your credentials? Asking for your credentials is like asking the sun to state its right to shine over the heavens. You are supposed to laugh here. Why are you all sitting so quietly? I am asking you. Smile. I hope you all are listening. Good. Thank you for saying yes now. So, Professor Wright wrote a recommendation letter for Swamiji. Now Swamiji came back to Chicago. Now what? He lost the address of the venue. Now he didn't know how to reach there. New to a place, standing right in the middle of the street and didn't know where to go. Then there was a kind lady by the name of Mrs. Hale. She helped him, took him to the Parliament of Religions on the opening day, 11th September 1893. And Swamiji managed to get a seat in the front row. His turn to speak was in the afternoon. Now, picture this. Saffron robes, a yellow turban on his head, a face radiant with the glow of spiritual light, a majestic stance. So, with all these qualities, Swami Vivekananda attracted the audience like a magnet. So, when he stood up, everybody just looked at him with open mouth. He prayed to Goddess Saraswati, and when he started the address, brothers and sisters of America, the audience went crazy. They gave him a standing ovation for full 2 minutes. You are supposed to clap here. Swami Vivekananda presented the greatest principles of Vedanta in a beautiful manner. He said, I proudly represent the religion that has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. As the different streams that have their origin in different places mingle all their water in the sea, so, my Lord, the paths taken by different men, although their tendencies may be different, various kinds they may be, but they all lead to Thee. The words of Swamiji were so powerful, they touched everybody's heart. Allah என்பார் சில பேர்கள், ஹரன் ஹரி என்பார் சில பேர்கள், வல்லானவன் பரமண்டலத்தில் வாழும் தந்தை என்பார்கள். எத்தனை நிறங்கள் உருவங்கள் எல்லாவற்றையும் எண்ணுங்கள், அத்தனையும் தர ஒரு தெய்வம் யாரோ எங்கோ இருப்பதுமே, யாரோ எங்கோ இருப்பதுமே. Did you understand? There is one God. You can pray Him by any name. Swamiji spread Vedanta in the whole of USA and London for 3.5 years, and influenced by his message and life, many people became his devotees and disciples. Notable among them is Margaret Noble, who later came to be known as Sister Nivedita, who dedicated her life in educating the girls in India. When Swami Vivekananda returned to India triumphantly, he was welcomed grandly by warm, enthusiastic and affectionate people of India. Swamiji gave empowering speeches in different parts of India, and this created a stir all over India. Did I mention the stir his speech created in USA? The people started calling him the messenger with Indian wisdom to the Western world, the cyclonic monk from India. In India, he did not speak about the Indian heritage. Here, he wanted upliftment of the masses. So his speeches in India were different from the ones that he gave in USA or England. Actually, the people in India would just go and sit on the rails and stop the train to listen to his talks. So powerful his talks were. Then, what issues did he address in India? He spoke about equality for women, elimination of the caste system. You know, at that time, British rule was in India. So he also spoke about bringing about end of the colonial rule. And he felt that educating the masses was the solution. So he spoke about promoting education, science and industrialization. Vidudalai, vidudalai, vidudalai. Swatantrita, swatantrita, swatantrita. ஏழை என்றும் அடிமை என்றும் எவனும் இல்லை ஜாதியில் गरीब और दास नाम का कोई नहीं जात में இழிவு கொண்ட மனிதர் என்பர் இந்தியாவில் இல்லையே नीच इस देश में ही कोई नहीं जान लो வாழி கல்வி செல்வம் ஈகி மனமகிழ்ந்து கூடியே उच्च शिक्षा एवं धन को पाकर खुश रहे सभी மனிதர் யாரும் ஒரு நிகர் சமானமாக வாழ்வமே समस्त लोग समानता के साथ यहाँ मिलजुले विडुदलै 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 स्वतंत्रता स्वतंत्रता स्वतंत्रता. So many of our leaders who fought for our freedom were inspired because of Swami Vivekananda's speeches. I, as a child, have participated in so many of Vivekananda competitions in Ramakrishna Mission in India while I was growing up. In the year 18, after he returned to India, he established the Ramakrishna Mission. You see, I had told you earlier that he established the first Ramakrishna Mutt. That was in Baranagar. Now the first Ramakrishna Mission was started in Kolkata later on. In the year 99, he travelled again to England, USA, Vienna. He attended another Parliament of Religions in Paris and Egypt. And finally, 1900, in December, he returned to India. In Kolkata, he did a lot of social service. And on 4th July 1902, Swami Vivekananda decided it was time and he attained Mahasamadhi. To put his teachings in simple words, he said, stand up, be bold, be strong, take the whole responsibility on your own shoulders and know that you are the creator of your own destiny. All the power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Do not believe that you are weak. You can do everything. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Express the divinity within you. Now, within the short lifespan, Swami Vivekananda achieved incredible things. It is in our hands and in the hands of our children to implement what he has taught the whole world. Do you all agree? I now pray to the Almighty, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda to bless us all with their choicest blessings. Thank you. Mangalam Shubha Mangalam Nitya Jaya Mangalam Shubha Mangalam Nitya